completely swamped her. Black stilettos in a white outfit is something that I've seen her wear before when she collected an award, and I really don't like the look. But she's got and Meghan, well, I don't think anybody really sees Meghan as a royal or a member of the royal family anymore, despite her flashing her time.
Breaking news is tearing through the high fashion world, shaking luxury insiders and sending shockwaves straight into Los Angeles courtrooms. This isn't casual drama. This is a serious fashion scandal with real money and real consequences. This video is based on rumors and speculation. Nothing here has been confirmed as fact. We're used to seeing the Duchess of Sussex fight tabloids and family disputes. That's familiar territory, but this time the opponent is far more dangerous. Meghan Markle is now up against a brand with deeper pockets, sharper lawyers, and ruthless control over its image, Chanel. Today, the House of Chanel officially filed a lawsuit, and the figures are staggering. They're demanding $8 million in damages, accusing Meghan Markle of fraud and breach of contract. According to the filing, this isn't a mistake. It's an alleged retail scheme taken to an extreme level. The lawsuit claims that over an 18-month period, Meghan allegedly bought and returned 47 couture and ready-to-wear pieces, totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars. Chanel says these items weren't returned untouched. They claim the pieces were worn to major events, photo shoots, and private dinners before being brought back. And here's the shocker. Chanel alleges the items were returned almost immediately, labeled as unworn.
Markle fatigue is very, very real. And I've said, unless it's directly something to do with the royal family or Harry, because as much as people
defective or unsuitable. This wasn't a customer changing her mind according to the complaint. Chanel calls it a calculated system, allegedly used to maintain a luxury wardrobe without paying for it. The brand claims their flagship boutiques were treated like a free fashion rental service. And the most damaging part? Chanel says they have hard proof, receipts, timelines, and even security footage that allegedly tracks the process step by step. According to the complaint, Chanel's high-end purchases come with strict rules. Tags stay attached and garments stay flawless. Chanel alleges Meghan's team, acting under direct instruction, learned how to manipulate security tags without detection. They claim the pieces were worn briefly to get maximum media exposure, then tags were carefully reattached before the items were boxed up and returned to Rodeo Drive. This isn't just about clothing, Chanel argues. It's about using the brand for public image and commercial benefit without paying. They also claim reputational damage, saying returned couture, some allegedly stained, hurts the exclusivity of the house. And that's why they're standing firm. Titles don't override contracts, and the number matters.
One of them is just in really, really poor taste and shows that she's got no scruples, which I'm sure most of you are aware already. But
47 items, each one tracked, documented, and filed. The dossier begins clearly with Item 1. The tweed jacket worn to the Invictus lunch. Returned the next day citing itchy lining. Item 2. The silk evening gown, worn to a private Tyler Perry dinner, returned 48 hours later claiming the wrong shade of black. Item 3. A cashmere set worn during a Zoom call, sent back because it didn't photograph well. Every excuse is logged, dated, and detailed. That level of record-keeping makes one thing clear. Chanel didn't rush this. They watched quietly, letting the pattern grow until the numbers became impossible to deny. By the time they moved, the paper trail was airtight, and the excuses ran out. The lawsuit also names does 1 through 10, unidentified defendants believed to be stylists and personal assistants. Chanel isn't just targeting the headline name, they're going after the people who walked into the boutiques, card in hand, repeating the stories to sales staff. Oh, the Duchess only tried it on at home and didn't like it. That line may come back to haunt them. Those assistants are now exposed to legal risk, and the pressure is real. If they testify that Meghan told them to return outfits already worn to events, this case jumps from civil trouble to conspiracy territory. And the fashion world talks, quietly but constantly.
High street earrings or a bag or a blazer or even trousers with some more elevated pieces and maybe a more elevated dress, for example, and she does it seamlessly.
For years, whispers floated around Hollywood styling circles about outfits coming back late, worn, or smelling strongly of perfume and cosmetic products. Nobody wanted to speak publicly, afraid of backlash or labels. Chanel doesn't play those games. As a French legacy house, they care about numbers, contracts, and brand protection. By filing publicly, they cracked the door open, and now every luxury brand is rechecking return histories. Dior, Valentino, Givenchy, all of them. This raises a bigger question. Was this happening everywhere? The boldness of it grabs attention. Meghan's high-low style was assumed to be paid for or gifted, but gifting dried up when popularity dropped. Buying became necessary, but spending wasn't the move. So the alleged method became simple: buy, wear, return. That's influencer hustle behavior, not royal polish. Chanel's legal team isn't looking to settle quietly either. They want court, they want proof, and they want everything exposed. Picture the scene. A lawyer holding up a luxury gown, pointing to a visible makeup stain, asking, "Did you wear this on November 12th?" Then rolling footage of that exact night. As the news hit, reports say WME, Meghan's talent agency, went into damage control mode. Fashion contracts are survival money in celebrity life. If Chanel labels you a fraud, doors slam shut fast. Luxury brands don't gamble on risk.
A little bit twisted and dark, and definitely a way to trigger her husband. So as for Meghan appearing at Paris,
Dior rumors vanish, Gucci talks disappear, and industry insiders say she's now frozen out by the Fédération de la Haute Couture. The lawsuit doesn't hold back. It directly references Exhibit A through Exhibit Z, including digital video footage from Chanel flagship boutiques in Beverly Hills and Paris. At first glance, it looks routine. Assistants returning clothing. But the audio is where things turn explosive. Chanel's legal team highlights a December 12th incident involving a senior Sussex aide. The footage allegedly shows the aide attempting to return a $12,000 tweed suit. A sales associate inspects the skirt and points out a deep crease, consistent with hours of sitting, and refuses the return. That's when the audio kicks in. The aide is allegedly heard raising her voice saying, "You do not say no to the Duchess." Then comes the threat: "If you don't take this back, she will claim it was defective and destroy your brand in the press." That's not negotiation, that's pressure. Chanel labels this as extortion. Using the threat of bad publicity to force a return turns a simple dispute into something far more serious. This proves, they argue, the returns weren't innocent mistakes. They were aggressive plays. Chanel didn't cave, though. They saved the footage, logged the incident, and started building a case.
the most expensive clothes. These clothes, some of her outfits are actually more than what people paid for their entire home, right? And she still looks a total hot mess. So she's on what I would say 95% terrible.
But the most shocking evidence doesn't come from store cameras. It comes from the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Reality shows generate hundreds of unused hours, known as B-roll, and Chanel's lawyers subpoenaed that raw footage. According to sources familiar with the material, one scene shows Meghan being fitted for a gala. She's wearing a Chanel gown while a stylist adjusts it. In the background, voices clearly discuss hiding the tag, not cutting it off, but tucking it into the lining and taping it down so it won't show in photos and can be returned the next day. One voice reportedly jokes, "Don't spill the wine or we own it." That line is critical. Chanel says it proves there was never intent to keep the item. They argue it shows premeditation, treating a purchase like a rental without paying. And then there's the science. Chanel doesn't just sell clothes, they analyze them. Returned luxury items go through microscopic inspection. Item 14, a white silk blouse, was returned as unworn, but lab reports tell a different story. The filing claims traces of a specific bronzer, a brand Meghan has publicly used, were found embedded in the collar fibers. They also detected a perfume she has openly described as her signature scent. More than that, the lab allegedly found skin cells and hair fibers. Chanel preserved the samples and argues the biological markers closely match the defendant.
Emily Chang, she had mentioned about what direction she's going to take her brand into, and she said that she's known for beauty and fashion.
This is luxury-level forensics, CSI on Rodeo Drive. They're even prepared to DNA test sweat marks on a $5,000 jacket to prove it was worn at that tense lunch with television executives. The sheer number alone destroys any mistake defense. One dress might be an accident, maybe, but 47 items? That's not confusion, that's a system. Chanel argues this wasn't sloppy behavior, it was a business model built on returns. According to the lawsuit, the value of the clothing allegedly worn and returned exceeds $600,000 in inventory. But the real damage jumps to $8 million because Chanel says Meghan used their designs, their intellectual property, to boost her own commercial projects like books and podcasts without paying the brand. In short, Chanel claims their clothing became costumes for profit. And then comes the whistleblower. The lawsuit identifies Doe 1, rumored to be a former Sussex wardrobe employee. Reports say this assistant was fired and later approached by Chanel investigators. What they allegedly provided is explosive. Specific dates, times, and detailed wear and return schedules tied to major events. This witness also revealed the so-called tag gun method. A tag gun is a retail tool used to attach plastic tags, and Chanel claims Meghan's team bought their own. The allegation is simple but shocking. They removed tags for appearances, then reattached them the next day using replacement fasteners before returning the items. That's not casual behavior, that's advanced retail deception. Chanel even alleges packaging was counterfeited. The mistake that blew it all up?
It's rare. Meghan always looks like a wrinkled mess. She looks like she got dressed in the dark in a...
The plastic barbs on the return tags were slightly different from Chanel's factory standard. That tiny detail cracked the entire operation. The fallout has been brutal. Since the filing, Women's Wear Daily reports that other luxury groups, LVMH, Dior, Vuitton, Givenchy, and Gucci, have launched internal audits. Brands are sharing notes, asking one question: did this happen to you too? And insiders say the answer appears to be yes. This wipes out the style icon image. A real icon supports designers. Someone who wears a dress, sweats in it, and sends it back is a nightmare client. Industry insiders now compare Meghan to the customer every store warned staff about. And then there's Harry. The lawsuit notes that several purchases were made on credit cards issued to Prince Henry of Wales before refunds were processed. If he saw the outfits worn, then watched them boxed up and returned, Chanel argues he may be tied to the transaction trail. That drags the king's son into a couture dispute, awkward, messy, and far from royal. Chanel's lawyers aren't just angry about returns, they're furious about the accounting. The lawsuit ends with a chilling section on unjust enrichment and tax implications. Now, here's how the alleged setup worked, according to the lawsuit. Chanel claims Meghan's business team purchased $10,000 dresses using credit cards tied to Archwell Productions or related media LLCs. These purchases were reportedly logged as production expenses, costumes for shoots or events, which can legally lower taxable income. So far, that part looks like standard Hollywood accounting, but here's where Chanel says things crossed the line. The next day, the dress was allegedly returned for a full refund, and the money went straight back onto the card.
Right, but many people did speculate that this was Meghan dropping hints that she is going to be reinventing herself soon.
Now comes the big question. Chanel claims the tax deduction stayed on the books even after the refund hit. If true, that means the deduction wasn't reversed. According to the filing, this created a double benefit: cash back from the store and a tax write-off still in place. Chanel alleges this happened repeatedly. If done 47 times, the filing claims it adds up to tens of thousands in questionable deductions. This isn't about fashion anymore. It's about accounting trails and serious oversight issues. Then there's item 47, the final dress that triggered everything. The lawsuit identifies it as the gold boucle gown worn to a major New York awards gala last winter. The photos were everywhere. She looked polished, flawless, expensive. But the next morning, that gown reportedly came back to the boutique in a box. According to the store's incident report, the dress was badly damaged. A 3-inch tear in the hem and a large oily stain inside the bust area, consistent with cosmetic products, made it unsellable. The sales associate refused the return. That's when things allegedly escalated. Chanel claims Meghan's team demanded a replacement credit, arguing the fabric was defective and tore on its own. Chanel sent the dress to its Paris lab. The findings were blunt. The fabric strength tested perfectly. The tear was caused by force, not defect. The refund request was denied. According to the lawsuit, legal threats followed, including claims that Chanel would be accused of bias or poor quality if they didn't comply. That moment changed everything.
Around Paris, very, very reminiscent of Lady Beckham's straight pan face that she's always done. But that's her. She's always been that way. It's not an act.
Chanel didn't pay. They investigated. They reopened all 46 prior returns and realized they were dealing with a pattern, not isolated incidents. That gold gown now sits in an evidence locker, a turning point in the case, and the fallout spread fast. Sources in Paris say major fashion groups issued an internal do not loan, do not sell notice. LVMH brands Dior, Vuitton, Givenchy, and Gucci have reportedly cut ties entirely. For luxury fashion, this kind of blacklist is almost unheard of. Usually luxury brands fight to dress a duchess. Now they're fighting to keep her out of their stores. Picture the embarrassment. A stylist walks into Dior to pull a look for a Netflix appearance and gets shut down cold. Sorry, the showroom is closed to your client? That's not shade. That's a career-ending message. Without couture access, the image falls apart. The luxury armor disappears. No more elite fashion language. No more instant prestige. She's forced to shop off the rack or lean on lesser-known labels that don't carry weight. The so-called Dior Duchess era is officially over. And then there's Prince Harry. The lawsuit flags him as a person of interest tied to the financial trail. Several refunds were processed back to credit cards in his name. That means the disputed funds passed directly through his accounts.
She's appeared. We've had an announcement. Now, obviously, the paparazzi were told exactly which hotel she was staying at, so they could be there with the cameras. So
Harry has said publicly that he leaves fashion decisions to Meghan, but that excuse doesn't fly here. Ignorance doesn't protect you when your name is on the statement. Palace insiders are reportedly stunned seeing Prince Henry of Wales linked to a lawsuit involving damaged dresses and refund disputes. The king removed HRH titles to shield the monarchy from this exact kind of mess. Yet here it is, royal branding tangled in boutique-level scandal. It feeds the narrative critics won't let go of, that the Sussex image of wealth is smoke and mirrors. Chanel isn't stopping at basic damages either. They're asking for punitive damages, pushing the total claim to $8 million. That's not reimbursement, that's punishment. Chanel wants to hit hard and send a warning. The filing uses heavy words: malicious, fraudulent, and oppressive. Chanel is positioning itself as the victim of intimidation, not a luxury bully. So what's the defense? Sources say Meghan's team is scrambling to pitch an unofficial ambassadorship angle. The claim is that the exposure she gave Chanel was worth more than the clothes. In other words, we wore it, you got publicity, you should thank us. That logic might work for small influencers, but Chanel isn't selling energy drinks. They don't need exposure from anyone. Judges don't rule on vibes, they rule on receipts. Exposure doesn't clean stains, and it doesn't erase return policies. And to make things worse, the stylist Whistleblower has reportedly handed over text messages, including complaints from Meghan about how expensive the clothes were. Why do I have to pay? I'm the Duchess! That line from the leaked texts says everything. These messages reveal a deep sense of entitlement.
Stayed at the same hotel that Princess Diana did. It's believable that she would do that, but it's my understanding that she is actually staying at the Hotel Plaza Athena because
The belief that marrying into royalty meant luxury came free. No invoices, no rules. What she failed to grasp is simple. The royal family pays for clothing through official funding structures. Once she stepped away, she entered the real economy, where everyone pays like everyone else. Now the consequences are stacking up fast. Breaking news out of New York confirms a move that's been quietly building for years. The long-running debate over whether Meghan Markle would ever attend the Met Gala is officially over. Sources inside Condé Nast say the invitation wasn't just skipped. She's been placed on a permanent ineligible list. In fashion terms, that's total exile. Why such a hard line? Because Anna Wintour protects designers above all else. Chanel, Dior, and Valentino bankroll the fashion ecosystem. Wintour can't be linked to anyone accused of mistreating or defrauding those brands. A source close to Wintour reportedly said, "Anna does not tolerate thieves. You can be controversial, you can be messy, but you cannot be cheap." And returning stained couture crosses that line. This ban is devastating. The Met Gala is the Super Bowl of status. If you're not on those steps, you don't exist in elite circles. By losing Wintour, Meghan shut the last major door. She aimed to rule Hollywood, but got locked out of the castle. And now comes the most explosive update yet. Remember the confrontation over the damaged gold dress?
of that hotel. But it wouldn't surprise or shock any of us that Meghan would stay somewhere like that and pose as she came out or wear another Diana-inspired outfit. But the outfit...
During that moment, the Beverly Hills store manager reportedly hit record on her personal phone. That audio has been entered into evidence as Exhibit 48, and a transcript exists. The voice identified as the Duchess sounds nothing like her podcast tone. It's raw anger. "I don't care about the stain, get it cleaned. I'm wearing this brand on my back giving you millions in free press, and you're arguing with me over dry cleaning. Do you know who I am? I made this dress famous." The manager responds calmly, "Ma'am, the fabric is torn. It cannot be resold." The reply is chilling. "Then eat the cost, you can afford it." If you don't process this refund, I'll tell the world your staff was rude and racist. I will destroy this store. I will have your job. That recording is the core of the punitive damages claim. Chanel argues it proves intent, pressure, and abuse of status. This wasn't a bad return, it was alleged intimidation. That one phrase may end up defining everything. Juries don't sympathize with bullies, especially wealthy, titled figures yelling at retail workers. The existence of that recording explains why Chanel went all in. This isn't just about money anymore, it's about standing up for staff who were allegedly mistreated. Chanel is positioning itself as the protector of its employees, and that move is powerful. The lawsuit frames the brand as defending everyday workers against entitlement and pressure. From a public standpoint, it's a strategic masterstroke. And now look at Hollywood's stylist network. Stylists are the gatekeepers of fashion access, and since this lawsuit dropped, insiders say several high-profile stylists have quietly stepped away. Why? Because no one wants to be dragged into depositions or listed as an unnamed defendant in a fraud case. Reports suggest Meghan currently has no active wardrobe team. She's allegedly shopping online under the radar because showrooms won't take her calls. That's a stunning reversal. And then there's the tax angle. The lawsuit's claim of double dipping has reportedly triggered automated scrutiny. The IRS uses data systems to flag irregularities, and a high-profile allegation is enough to raise alarms. If investigators find mismatches between deductions and refunds, this could move beyond civil court. History shows tax issues change everything. Accounting trails don't care about titles. Sources say Harry's reaction to the secret recording was shock. He wasn't present during the boutique incident and likely only heard a softened version afterward. They were rude. They treated me unfairly. He may have believed that. Now he has the audio. He hears the tone, the threats, the pressure. Hearing a spouse speak that way to a store employee can shatter trust fast. It challenges the victim narrative completely. Suddenly, old warnings from palace staff don't look like gossip, they look like caution. Chanel's legal team isn't stopping there. They're calling for a forensic accounting of the wardrobe, asking to inspect high-value items to determine what's actually owned versus returned. They're even seeking court approval to inventory the Montecito closet. Picture it. Officials checking tags, receipts, and purchase records. It's invasive, yes, but Chanel argues the pattern made it necessary. As this heads toward the final phase, the big question remains. Will there be a settlement? Chanel has made its stance clear. They don't want a quiet check. They want accountability and a public acknowledgement. The pressure is tightening. Fashion's top gatekeepers are gone, financial scrutiny is rising, and that recording is ready to be replayed everywhere. The walls are closing in fast. Chanel's legal team has been holding back an ace card for weeks. They hinted at a third-party witness, not an employee, not on the payroll, but someone who was there as a friend. Now we can report that the subpoena has been served to a high-profile, A-list actress, a former close confidant of the Duchess. We can't name her yet, but sources say she's a household name with massive fashion contracts. And here's the shocker. She's cooperating. She's not protecting Meghan. Why? Because she has deals with Gucci and Vuitton to uphold and cannot risk being tied to alleged retail fraud. According to the filing, this witness provided a sworn deposition claiming she personally saw Meghan use the tag gun to reattach labels. She allegedly heard Meghan say, "It's only cheating if you get caught." This crushes the rogue assistant defense and places the tag gun directly in Meghan's hands. The betrayal by a friend is the final blow. In Hollywood, loyalty is transactional. Meghan is now a liability, her inner circle evaporated. The squad is gone. The dressing room is empty. Enter the Markle Clause, the lasting legacy in fashion. Insiders in Paris say the Fédération de la Haute Couture et de la Mode is drafting new protocols for lending couture to celebrities. The rules are brutal. No loans without full-value credit card deposits, no third-party returns, and personal sign-off required. A single stain, you pay. Royals get no exceptions. Stylists and young actresses are furious. Meghan allegedly destroyed the unspoken Hollywood agreement. We give free stuff, you make us look good. She took free items and left brands exposed. The free ride is over for everyone. This is the Meghan effect. As trial approaches, rumors say Meghan's team offered $2 million to settle with a non-disclosure, but Chanel flatly refused, likely unread. They aren't after money, they want precedent, a judgment saying Meghan Markle committed fraud. And Harry? The final blow is his total emasculation. While writing about personal pain, sources say Meghan was in the next room scheming how to return a stained gown to Rodeo Drive to save a few $1,000s. It cheapens Harry's struggle. His flight from royal life now looks like a cash grab. He gave up military titles, patronages, and family ties, only to be married to a woman facing a lawsuit for alleged shoplifting. The king has stayed silent, but actions speak louder than words. Swift removal of HRH references from the website, distancing the firm. It's a quarantine strategy. The palace is treating the Sussexes like a contagion. Every warning courtiers gave Harry seems validated. Meghan allegedly didn't grasp the difference between royal obligations and celebrity perks, and now the bill has come due. So how does this end? Reputation bankruptcy? Meghan may have the money, another tell-all selling Montecito, but she can't buy back her standing. In high society, being cheap is worse than betrayal. Being a grifter sticks permanently. The Met Gala? Gone. Dior campaigns? Gone. Luxury endorsements? Gone. She's now a fast fashion celebrity in a couture world. The final image is not the radiant bride at Windsor Castle, it's the gold boucle gown, torn and stained, locked in evidence. That dress is the ultimate metaphor for the Sussex story. It's shown under the lights, but underneath was torn, stained, and discarded. When the bill came, nobody paid. The House of Chanel has spoken, the fashion world has shut its doors, and Meghan Markle is left holding a bag of returned clothes that no one wants. If you watch this and have thoughts, drop them in the comments below. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe and stay locked in for more deep dives like this. Don't forget to like the video and share it with someone who needs to see it.